Yeah, it should be on my channel. Hi, everybody. Let me get situated. Well, then I'd have to log in on my channel, which would be a whole thing. Hi, everybody.
Are you on?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Can I use that? Hi, Zeus Scott. We're testing out Oh, that's good. Hey, Lisa Rose 18. What's up, girl? What'd you think of Taryn's last post? She didn't look too happy. Oh boy. I messed up last night. Fleur Brun is not German name, it's a French name. She's Creole. So my bad on that. But I don't know if Fleur Brun, it sounds like that's German too. I don't know what brown flour is in German. Alright, let me get my, 11 people. Let me get my audio. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. Under my umbrella. I guess I don't need to. Eat, 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 eat. So yeah. Can you guys hear me? I'm in sunny Chemi, Los Angeles, California right now. Did you guys see? Can you hear me? Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Please. Lisa Rose 18 says, I can't with Taryn, LOL. I saw you yesterday on Chalk Body. I never know if I should listen to that show because they say racist stuff. Yeah, I mean, as you could see last night, some debauchery is allowed on that channel. Yeah, and I don't really, I watch it on and off. I click in. It seems like they now have kind of a running open kind of chat show happening. But they do talk a lot of shit about other content creators. But yeah, the racist stuff, it's so hard these days too, like with like what is racist, what's not racist, what you can say, what you can't say. It's like a lot of censorship and self-censorship. I think a lot of people don't have any intentions on being actually like racist. But sometimes it's like no matter how you try to talk about it, it comes out sounding racist to somebody. But it's like things that we have to talk about. But yeah, I get what you say, and they are pretty misogynistic with that whole situation of them talking about eating my starfire. Well, dang specifically. Um, Thanks to Scott. Sweet as a nut. Nutcracker. Hi, Mystic Mayhem. Just subbed this morning. Interesting in your views. Thank you. Did YouTube just recently resort videos? Because I don't like it how they sort out videos on the web page, how they sort out videos from live and from shorts, because it's like the first screen you see are just videos, and I do a lot of live streams and shorts. So so if you just look on my videos page, it looks like I don't really post that often, and I kind of just post sky videos and stuff. But I actually post a lot of live streams, and a lot of my content I talk about in my live streams. And usually my live streams are kind of all over the place. So, especially ones that are older are way all over the place. So I talk about all kinds of subjects. So yeah, definitely check it out. The sound, sweet as an, oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, Taryn from Lucid Living TV seems like she's having kind of a life crisis right now. But it's interesting because I think her big fan base is kind of turning against her because they're fed up with her complaining, and I don't know, it's just kind of weird that somebody thinks that they can sell advice and be outwardly so unhappy with their own life. Like I think that generally you should take, if you are trying to be happy or trying to find peace or understanding, that you would listen to somebody who you view as happy or who has found understanding. So, and same thing, like I've seen like a lot of people give like sex advice and advice on relationships, and they're like not in relationships or they don't have sex. It's like, I get you have a view on it, but I don't really think you should be giving advice on it, especially to people who are actively in relationships and pursuing a male-female interaction. Because a lot of these spiritual people, they aren't having like intimate relations with the opposite sex, but yet they think that they can tell other people how to deal with their relationships and how to deal in their with their spouse and stuff. And it's like, until like unless you're in an actual loving relationship, like that's when you can give valuable advice, information about how to be in a constructive relationship. That's kind of something I learned early on, like girls, I think, tend to listen too much to their other girlfriends, who often are single and bitter and have bad experiences with men. And one of the girls will get with a relationship or a boyfriend, and oftentimes when she's talking with her girlfriend, she finds herself just talking about the bad things about the guy to complain and have like, like a lively conversation. And the girlfriends will try to beat down the guy and dissuade the girl from being with the guy. And it's like, you shouldn't be listening to advice of friends that aren't in relationships or don't even value relationships, because they'll just try to get you out of a relationship when you're in one. Yo, thanks for joining me. So yeah, last night I called into Get Chalked Up live stream, and we talked about Jade Dreamers and Archaics, I guess, are having a falling out. I didn't even know that they were really talking, but I think they're both charlatans. I was wondering what maybe Jade Dreamers found out about Archaics that made him want to distance himself. Maybe it's the fact, maybe Archaics is using some kind of like chat GPT or some kind of AI to create his theories and his, like, the images he posts and like the historical events. Maybe he's using like chat GPT or something like that to create the stories and the historical relevance. I don't know. I don't listen to the guy. I don't have any ounce of attention to give to him. I have a very strong intuition on people, and it's extremely, extremely rare. Like, I've had, like, beyond other people, I feel like I've had way more interactions on a very intimate basis with people, especially in the medical field, being in surgery, operating on people, examining people's bodies, investigating their history, asking them really personal questions. Like I used to say, it's my job to find out your life story in 15 minutes or less, or to get me to tell you your deepest, darkest secrets in 15 minutes or less. Because a lot of times somebody's telling me some information that maybe they're not even sharing with their spouse. Like, Like some people in marriages, they don't share medical history. And here I am as a stranger having to get that information out of somebody and examine their body in like a time frame. And you have to, it's like a skill you have to learn. And it's called rapport. It's called active listening. It's called like asking the right questions, reading people's body language, getting to the point, like helping people like focus their intention on what they're there for. But I've developed and I've always had a really strong intuition about people. And it's very, very rare that I have an automatic shut off. Like I have an automatic, like, no, I have nothing to learn from you. Like bad energy, like don't even interact. Like don't even interact. It's extremely, extremely rare that I ever get that feeling about people. And I've dealt with like prisoners, convicts, people with all kinds of weird wound infections, long-term drug addicts, people probably that are abusing their kids. Like I've been interactive, intimate with all kinds of people. But there was one neighbor when I was a teenager that I had this reaction to, and he was like the neighbor in The Simpsons, like happy-go-lucky, like water, like, hey, how's it going? And I just had instant no, don't talk to him. Like I just had bad vibes about him, and I told my mom, and she's like, okay, you don't have to talk to him, blah blah blah. But it's not like I ever really had it justified, but I just knew, like, and there were weird things that he would do. Like I felt like sometimes he would be like flirting with me, and I was a teenager, and at a couple like barbecues he got really drunk and was like crawling around like as like a dog and like going through our dog doors and stuff. There was just something about him that I knew, like I don't know if he was a serial killer, I just knew there was something not right. And what I'm saying is I've had this reaction with Jason Brashears, the Archaics guy, and this is before I knew his history and all that. But instant no, nothing to hear from him. Like his voice, it's just instant, like anti-frequency vibes with me. I, like I, so what I know about what he talks about is all through secondhand about people talking about him, because I have no attention or patience to listen to him. Jay Dreamers, I was tied to him a really long time ago when the plasma apocalypse information first came out through Brian Austin Lambert, 33, and then his subsequent girlfriend, Mia's new pair of glasses. Hi, Cat I Am. Congratulations on being a grandma. So sorry I missed the video. I know I saw the thumbnail briefly, but then I got distracted in it. But your baby's so beautiful. Little Levi. What was I saying? Oh, Jay Dreamers. When Brian Austin Lambert was around, and his girlfriend Mia's new pair of glasses, her real name is Kimberly. It's like Kimberly. Her last name was a G, and it's like Italian. It's like Giuliani or something like that. They got together and created a paid website with all of the plasma apocalypse information, which basically Jay Dreamers just stole. But Brian Austin Lambert and Mia's new pair of glasses disappeared. There's a story that they died, committed suicide together, or had some kind of drug overdose. I've made videos about this, but there was a girl that had contacted me who I thought kind of looked like Mia's new pair of glasses, but she videotaped herself calling the coroner's office in San Diego to confirm if, in fact, Brian Austin Lambert and Kimberly had died. It was all really confusing. Some people think that they ran away with all of the money to Mexico because they would charge $333 per membership for the information on this website. So now Jay Dreamers just like repackaged it. But it's weird, these people all have like kind of military ties and like prison ties. And probably drug histories. I know Jay Dreamers has a heavy drug history. but they definitely don't have valuable relationships with the opposite sex. So I wouldn't be listening to any information from them about being a divine masculine or finding a divine feminine or anything of that nature of spiritual development, because they're just like down in the dumps on that aspect. Daydreamers publicly will campaign for money because he's a single, he doesn't have custody of his child, and it seems like the reasons why he's been in prison was due to violence in relationships, where he flips out and like breaks down doors and that sort of thing. So it doesn't really seem like any of these people are repentant or have learned anything from their experiences. They kind of seem to want to hide it and not talk about it. But I do think it's interesting that Jay Dreamers has publicly distanced himself from Jason Bashir's. And I think it's maybe because he's found out that Jason Bashir's is maybe using some kind of chat GBT AI assistance. It did seem for a while that Jason Bashir's was like using some kind of like Google glasses, or when he was like orating, he was actually reading information. And so there's a lot of like deceptive stuff going on. I do think it's weird that Jay Dreamer's graphics are a jellyfish and like this like intestinal worm tube thing that looks like a butthole. Like, I don't know what that is about. And yes, I am sitting underneath an umbrella, but the umbrella and jellyfish, anything with tentacles, is like the Umbrella Corporation, you know, in Resident Evil. The people who disseminate the infection and then the cure for the infection, which turns people into zombies. Lauren Pritchard likes to call it the Squid Witch, but the umbrella is like the tentacle black goo queen. You can think of it like Ursula in The Little Mermaid, but it's like the toxic feminine energy that sucks the energy from male and female. It's the devouring mother, which now Jordan Peterson has been talking about. The devouring mother is the witch that lures the children into the gingerbread house with promises of candy, but then she won't let the children ever grow up. She uses the children for their energy and basically eats the children, but it's like the mother that won't let her kids go and grow up because the mother is afraid of being alone and wants something there to love her. So this is all like tied to the umbrella, to the Hydra, the Squid Witch, the Black Goo Queen, AI tech, the Matrix, the spider. Yeah, the spider mother is the same thing. There's the Native American origin story of our realm right now was actually, there was two realms, a realm of light and a realm of dark. And this was perpetual darkness. And like the animals here went in a tunnel to the other side where there was light and stole a piece of the sun that was guarded by these giant titans, monsters. And like the pig failed and like the coyote failed. And it's like, that's why the pig it's like a reason why like the skunk has a stripe now. And so anyways, it gets to the grandmother spider who's old, and she's able to sneak around and not be seen by the giants, and steals a piece of the sun and brings it back to the night realm. And then that's why we have daytime now. We have like a teeny tiny piece of the real sun here to give us a daytime, but we still have a nighttime. Yeah, so it's like the mother spider that's connected to the web, that's connected to the matrix, and there's like a false sun that's not really the true sun. So yeah, so I would anticipate some probably intel coming out on archaics. Um, Last night on Get Chalked Up stream, I said that maybe Jay Dreamers knows that Jason's going to get raided or something, because James Munder got raided before he was killed in a Tesla crash on the 405 freeway in Los Angeles. He lived in this area where I am right now, Redondo Beach. He is from this area and claimed to have gone to the McMillan preschool where they had all that um, SRA to the kids and then the cover up. But he said nothing had happened to him, but he had remembered going there. Anywho, yeah, when he was, it might have been when he was living in Las Vegas. I don't know if it was this place in Redondo that got raided. I think it was this place that got raided in Redondo. And he was live streaming, I believe, maybe on Discord when it happened. But his apartment got raided by the SWAT team. And then later, like, they ended up, like, they were like, nothing happened. Like, he didn't get arrested. He was like joking with the SWAT guys, like, towards the end. But I think it was like somebody had called in a false report on him, that he had some files on things. I don't know, but really weird stuff. So I don't know why I thought of that, but that was like the first thing I thought of. Why? Because there has to be a reason why Jay Dreamers is suddenly distancing himself from, maybe like they had a deal to do this. There's like a convention, I guess, coming up for archaics. Maybe they were going to do some kind of convention deal, and then Jason didn't want Jay to be like headliner or something, and Jay's like, screw you. I don't know. But and it was weird too that Jay Dreamers was on Fleur Brun's live stream the other day. Yeah. I don't think Fleur Brun is really on real people's sides. I think she looks down on her viewers. I think she's just giving enough information to be dramatic and to make you know that she knows more than you. I don't like that she's always traveling in and out of the country and then like talking to her viewers like everybody has the same means as she does. Because I want everybody to know Fleur Brun is ancestrally wealthy. Like, she has lots and lots of money. Her dad worked on Wall Street, so she doesn't ever have to work. She doesn't have to work, and that's why she can talk the way she can talk and travel the way she can travel, go in and out of the country, go to Colombia, go to Brazil, Belize, go see her people, la 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 la. She can do that because she has a infinite amount of resources. So when you're at that like position, it's easy to like tell people like, hey, just do this, hey, just do that. I don't think she really realizes the reality for a lot of people. And it is like people are in bubbles. I do think like even just being here in Los Angeles, like in the area, this whole Los Angeles area is in a total bubble compared to a lot of the other parts of the country. Like, I think most people here haven't really experienced much shortages or feelings like there are no jobs or feelings like things are going out of business. I mean, yeah, there's here and there places for rent, but it's not like other places in California where like the whole city is like up for sale, where there's like homeless people all over the place. Yeah, there's homeless people here, but they're like kind of clustered in places. So if you don't go to the bad places, you never really see the bad things. So it still feels like here people are doing the regular grind, going to work, you know, striving for success, like the American dream, like still getting ahead. Like there's still that feeling here because they don't really go outside of the Los Angeles bubble and what you see on TV. But like if you just drive through like the middle of California or lots of parts of Northern California, it's rough. Like there's a lot of homeless people, a lot of people living in RVs, a lot of businesses that have gone out of business, like whole towns that used to be like flourishing suburbs are just like nobody lives there anymore. So I think that's interesting. What are you guys saying? I also need to talk about the balloons. I'm thinking about things I need to talk about. I need to talk about the balloons and the frequencies. Okay, I'm going through comments right now. Hi, Kat. How'd you miss the show with Drew? It's on his. Drew has Chalk Body Outline, and then he has a smaller channel called Get Chalked Up. And I was on. He reposted the live stream as a video. I don't really know why he did that, so it doesn't have the chat in there. Maybe the chat was like too vulgar or something, but he reposted the video as a video on his channel, Get Chalked Up. So it was SJOERD09, blah, blah, blah. He says, haha, I also subbed to Archaics, but can't listen to him longer than 2 minutes. Yeah, he's really, really creepy. It's like he has the voice from like the people in the movie Deliverance that like get in the position, get on all fours. This is like, don't talk to me. And I can't even listen. Like I can't even listen to the voice. It's creeps. Yeah, Kat says, yeah. Lisa Rose says, I think Jay's basic theory is interesting and does make a lot of sense, but I think he exaggerates and makes weird claims sometimes. Yeah, it's like he's just grasping for content. I don't really know if he has a central theory. But I don't like people that get all butthurt about stuff like you can't say this in my chat, I'll automatically block you. You can't ask me this question, blah, 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 but I'm going to talk about my kid and my he's going to ask for money for his child support and his he wants to get sympathy, but you can only talk about these things in his chat. He'll block people and I don't know what he's always signaling and doing this. I don't know if it's a nervous tick or if he's actually signaling to Masons or I don't know. There's some people that do a lot of signals while they talk. Kat says Jason Archaics is so cringe. Kat says they ain't dead, referring to Brian Austin Lambert and Kimberly Mia's new pair of glasses. Lisa Rose says Jay says a lot of people will have superpowers. I just think to have people in limbo waiting for this is like a religion. I do think people have superpowers already. We have been genetically altered. I think us getting this throughout our lives, some people were in programs based on their genetics. And I believe I was, and my brother got some kind of muscular super soldier stimulant because we were supposed to be over 6 feet. My dad's 6'2", 6'3", and my mom's 5'11". So I was supposed to be over 6 foot. We're big people, and my mom and dad are both extremely attractive, and my brother got muscular dystrophy, and I don't really think I don't know if muscular dystrophy still exists anymore, but it used to be the Jerry Lewis telethon, the MDA telethon, and all the kids in the wheelchairs, and it's a slow progression where your muscles turn to fat over time. So he could walk, and then at 10 years old he was permanently in a wheelchair, and then he couldn't hold his head up anymore, and then he needed help breathing. But he died at 27, so he's part of the 27 club. And but I think that he was given some super soldier thing, and it either degraded his muscle, like it didn't work, it was an experiment, or he was given something actually to make him disabled because he was supposed to be kind of like this big red-haired giant, like awesome attitude, like, and they can't let that happen. So, they disabled him. And I think I got something too. I think they gave me, I don't know if they both gave us stimulants to see what would happen, but I think whatever they gave to me stimulated my brain and maybe my empathetic centers. But part of having a brother being disabled your whole life and dealing with that really does develop empathy as it is. Having to witness his interaction growing up with the rest of the world and dealing with being bullied and, never being like a normal boy. But I think we all, if we've gone through Western medicine, I've probably been given, like when I was a baby, I was given fluoride pills to stimulate my teeth. And I've like had weird experiences with surgery and my wisdom teeth. So every time that we go in for medical intervention is a time that we can be altered or updated, or something can be slipped in by somebody that's part of another team that's there to upgrade us. But I did actually do genetic investigation into my brother because I wanted to see if I was a carrier for the genetic mutation that he had, because we were told that it was carried on the X chromosome. So my mom was told never to have any more babies because there might be a chance that she would have another child with muscular dystrophy, which I think was a whole lie. And it was found out that my brother he didn't have a normal genetic mutation for muscular dystrophy. He had a 1 in a bajillion, they said it was so rare that it probably only happened in the egg that was fertilized in my mom, that not all of her eggs didn't have this mutation, just the one that was fertilized and became my brother had this mutation. And it was a duplication error. So part of the gene was duplicated and it made the protein fold a little bit differently. So I didn't have so it wasn't an X-linked genetic mutation. It was a spontaneous mutation in the one egg that was fertilized that became my brother. So that's weird. So that means probably there was deliberate genetic intervention into my brother's genetic code to make that duplication error, to change his dystrophin protein, which preluded to the muscular dystrophy disease. And he had a very mild form of the disease, so it was a slower progressing. But his mental faculties were all there. It was just slow muscular degeneration. But I think everybody has been given some kind of X-Man genetic stimulation, and some of us are able to evolve, and some of us, our bodies turn it into a disease or an autoimmune disease. We are also being constantly showered with whatever is being put into our atmosphere. Right now, around the Super Bowl, I was having lots of premonitions and icky feelings about what was happening. I was pretty disturbed by the Super Bowl trailer for the Rihanna performance, which was nothing like the actual performance. But the trailer for the Super Bowl performance was Kubrickian, with the doorway, the Black Queen, and the Space Odyssey 2001 with the when the astronaut goes into the monolith, he becomes the space child, and he's in the AI constructed cube room where it's like the white floor and the white walls, but it's kind of like a Baroque decorated room with like Greek statues of gods and some like ornate pieces of furniture. But in the the trailer for the Super Bowl, Rihanna is in this room with like maids, and then she goes into the monolith and becomes the Black Goo Queen. This is tied to the space child. So when the astronaut goes into the AI tech, he becomes a baby into the technology and is able to communicate through the technology as this new hybrid being. And so this goes into Rihanna's actual performance with the moon bump, her fake pregnancy, and then all of the minions, dancers, showing their moon bump. This is tied to the balloons being the moon, the womb, the egg, being released. And then U2 had a commercial during the Super Bowl with the balloons, like all of the balloons, white balloons. It's like, what are the balloons? And it's like U2 at the Sphere. See what the balloons are. And it's like, this is like an active, like military thing happening, and U2 already had a produced commercial, like. And Bono was at the State of the Union address sitting next to Nancy Pelosi's husband, and I made a short video about it because behind them all of the chairs were upholstered with swastikas, and this is in the United States Congress. And I was like, Bono is tied to the balloons, because I thought it was a U-2 fighter jet, but I guess a U-2 is a submarine, and an F, so it's like U is underwater and F is flight, but it was an F. Anyways, he's like connected to the balloons, and here they have this commercial for U2 with the balloons. And I had this prophetic dream of all these white balloons being released. And that was the closest I had seen to my actual prophetic vision, was the U2 commercial, where there's people looking up and there's all these white balloons like in the space of vision in the sky. That was like my dream, except it was at nighttime. And it's tied to the firmament being penetrable. And that's like what Fleur Byrne was talking about on her last live stream that Jay Dreamers was in on. That the firmament right now is becoming gelatinous and malleable, and the things that are falling off right now are actual pieces of the plasma. And we're going to be like, this is the time we're going to be able to be birthed through the firmament, but only if you're at a certain frequency. The others that are trying to penetrate it are trying to go around the actual natural way. But I think this is what also what's being sprayed, and then they spray it, and then they submit some kind of frequency, and it does the waves, the harp waves. But right around Super Bowl, my freaking MK Ultra tooth that I've had the root canal on, the crown, I had the crown placed. It's all so weird. I had the crown placed before I was supposed to move to Australia, and right the day the crown was placed was like the day Corona was announced, and I was trying to get this crown placed before I go to Australia, and the Corona was shut down the world, and it's like it had to do with my crown on my canine tooth. And so I was, I had no problems with it up until like a few days ago. I felt a bump on there, and it's like an abscess. So now it's like I have this draining tooth, the abscess, and it's like, do I go to the dentist? It's already draining and it's healing. It doesn't really hurt, but it's like my face is all like, I probably should be on antibiotics. I'm getting better. I've been packing it with charcoal, which is interesting because I'll pack with charcoal and then my whole mouth will be black, and it's like I'm like making myself this like black goo squid witch, like while I'm like worried about Rihanna, the black goo squid witch. And I immediately tied it to this cat sacrifice that happened in my driveway. I won't talk about that story again. I talked about it on last night, Get Chalked Up, about the animal sacrifice and the voodoo Haitian guy that came out in my driveway, but it was connected to the song Rhiannon about the old Welsh witch. But that's just a very haunting song. gets stuck in your head. It's like, na, 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 na. What was I gonna say? Yeah. Hi, Son is the Father of Man. How's it going? Hi, Dan. What's up? Yeah, I was gonna say something else. Yeah, so I also feel like the frequencies are affecting my tooth, but it is getting better. So I'm really just trying to put like energy into myself healing and overcoming any kind of invaders. But I think like having the energy of pushing things out is like I really do feel the connection to this firmament and being hatched. And it has to do with like the egg shortage, all this talk about the moon, the balloons popping, like people talking about balloons being popped and it blowing your mind, popped into my head. Like you have to listen to these words and images. So egg is moon, is womb, is balloon. Yeah. Hi, Robin. Robin says, Aphrodite, been listening for a few minutes. Your words too interesting to stop and type. You're so in tune. Love it. Oh, thanks, Robin. Thank you. Hi, Paradox Fossils. Mystic Mayhem says, I've been listening to both of them for a while, and my thought is both are just battling with each other over their overlapping versions of quote truth. Yeah. I wonder how much money they're making. It's like you really like once you get monetized, you really just don't make any money like based like on actual views. Like the only way you can actually make real money, I think, is if you like are selling merchandise or if you have like a side website that you direct people to. Hi, Trudan Show Kim, love to you and all the woke folks. Thanks. Paradox Fossils, I'm looking to get 5 acres in rural Missouri and grow stuff. Awesome. Well, when you get the land, let me know. I'll come by and visit you in my bimbo bread truck. I have lots of seeds and I have lots of starfire to neutralize the soil. Trudan says he has a deep voice like crazy. Oh, yeah, it's gross. Archaics. Sojerd says, great archaics impression. Call me Steward or Sigurd. Okay, I'll call you Steward. Steward says, and talk about Zeus also. Seems like he has good intentions. He's just a little weird. Zeus from Blood Over Intent. Yeah, I just don't like understand people that are like picking beefs with other Blood Over Intenters. Like, it's I don't know. I think it's maybe they're trying to identify too much with like the energy of like Satan and because blood over intent is all about a personal sovereignty, and about releasing your DNA. It's not about joining some club and about I thought it was really interesting that Fleur Byrne kept on saying blood in, blood out, blood in, blood out, and it's like wow, she's talking about blood over intent. And I think before she blocked me back in the day, I tried to ask her about blood over intent, and I think she was kind of down with it. I think she has done blood magic in the past, but blood over intent is all about writing your intention, like exit matrix or freedom or end all slavery. Some people say I intend to bring heaven on earth for the benefit of all. And then you put your blood on it, and that's the currency of this realm. Blood in, blood out. It's kind of like doing your own personal communion. It's kind of like being like Jesus, instead of Jesus like wanted you to be like him, like do like he does, like Can you, like, he did his own personal sacrifice to end all sacrifices. So instead of like throwing other people under the bus, tell the universe, like, hey, my intention is to, better have a good life. My intention is to release people from slavery. And then that tells the universe that you no longer are allowing the authority to dictate your DNA, to drive you like a boat. Because a lot of things, they're using our blood and our DNA and like a puppet. Like they have the code and they have some kind of assumed consent, or maybe you consented along the way and now you don't remember, or you signed something that you didn't read the writing. They think that they have something over you and they have your code and they can like puppet you, like they have your shell and they can move you around. But until you like tell the universe and tell the world, tell the realm, the technology, whatever you want to call it, magic, that you are the owner of your DNA. I have sovereignty over my DNA. I claim ownership over my DNA. All contracts are null and void that were made without my consent. You can say whatever you want and you put your blood on it. And then you should probably post it to YouTube. So that's like the notification part. We used to have like a post in the middle of town square and you post your notification, and that made it a legal document. But now what we have is the internet. But yeah, I don't think other people should be really going after. I don't like when Zeus like does the backwards speech and talks about people. Like I don't really understand. It's like he's trying to scare people, or I don't know. Da, da, da. Trudan says the sky has been so gross in San Diego. Hi, watery. I left California nearly a decade ago. Good riddance. Oh, that was the other thing that I was supposed to talk about. Son is the father of man says, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Stay safe out there in the real world. Yes. Watery says, just like Pink, she wore that moon bump as well. Pink is a dude. Yes. They're all not straight male or female, pretty much. Rihanna's a dude as well. Yes, I think so. It's a moon bump. They wear it. It's a prosthetic pregnant belly. It's called a moon bump. It's actually like a trademark name called a moon bump. And they have different sizes depending on how far along you're supposed to be. Watery says, Nina tried to warn us 40 years ago, but I don't think there are 99 yet. M Stone is a meanie. Robin, as many saltwater rinses and gargle as you can a day for that too, sister. Yeah, I've been packing it with charcoal. Not right now. I'm kind of giving it a rest. I've been doing like half and half hydrogen peroxide water rinses. And it's finally communicated with the bottom of my crown at the gum line. So, yeah. But it's like I do have really big teeth, and my canines stick out like these fence posts, and they have like all this tension like holding up the structure of my lower jaw. But okay, now to like the other topic of my title, leaving California. I feel like there's all this propaganda and push to leave California. I'm constantly like people, like good meaning people, oh, you got to get out of California. Oh, you got to get out of California. It's a cesspool. Oh, like you're going to, I don't know, get eaten alive out there. Or it's so horrible. Excuse me. But I think there's like this deliberate drive to get people out of here because this is where you're supposed to be. I think here is probably the best energy, like manifesting energy. I think it has to do with manifest destiny. I think it has to do with the western border. There's something about the western edge of this civilization that is the manifesting edge. When you go west, we're actually creating lands. I do believe in my heart that if I just sailed west, straight out from San Diego or like Catalina, if I just sailed straight west, where there's like an emptiness on the maps of there's nothing but ocean on the maps. If I just went straight west, I would like there would be islands that and land that would be created just from my pure intention. Like they kind of show things like this, I think, in like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. But like there's movies like Escape from LA, like all the earthquake movies, like San Andreas. There's all like, was it 2012 with John Cusack? There's even Blade Runner is in California, post-apocalyptic California. I think is Mad Max supposed to be in California? No, is the second Mad Max in California? Or is that still in Australia? Anyways, yeah, so there's like all this programming about California, and then now there's this exodus from California. All these people are leaving California because they're just increasing the cost of living. The taxes are insane. If you watch any of the financial people like Jeremiah Babe, and they're like, get out of California. Oh, I gotta get, like, I think last night I watched him. I haven't watched him in a while, and he looks sickly. He's like, I have to get out of California. I just can't wait to get out of California. Everybody needs to get out of California. It's just horrible here. It's hell here. Oh, blah, blah, blah. When the shit goes down, there's all these people on the system. It's just gonna be, there's too many people on the system. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, why is it that everybody that lives in the country that starts with a C on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, why do they all buy property in California? Like, a lot of buildings in San Francisco are owned by people that live on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. It starts with a C. Like, they seem to want to live in California. They seem to want to own pieces of California. Like, a lot of rich people invest in California and want to be in California and stay in California. They also want to be in Wyoming. It seems like there's a Wyoming, maybe a Wyoming, Southern California straddle. And then there's also the Colorado pull. It seems like a lot of people like in the maybe CIA or geological in the know tend to congregate and habitate in the high desert of like Colorado, Utah, northern Arizona. They think that that's going to be like the safe zone when whatever happens, happens. I do not think suspicious observers is a credible source. I find their body habitus to be very concerning. I don't know if they're trans, but I feel like there's an ulterior motive to all of this information about the pole shift. And he's very against talking about geoengineering. He says it's like totally negligible, the effect of all of this spraying is, which is just stupid. He's kind of one of those people where you can't ask certain questions, but is the main source for all the information on the solar flares and basically the magnetic pole shifts. But these tight, like, he didn't used to show his body and his face, but just recently he started doing live streams, and he wears like these tight shirts and like double shirts. It looks like he's binding breath. He's trying to mimic the look of pecs, but he doesn't look like, it looks like a feminine frame. I'm sorry, but that's what I see. And he did defend somebody who said LGBTQ, and he's like, actually, it's blah blah blah. Actually, it corrected the person, like, okay, this person's very educated on the current status of how to label that community. And they're like very fleshy. It's like they have female breasts and they try to mold them to look like muscle pecs. And it's like, sorry, I'm not buying it. So some of these people, they're like androgynous, and they're able to have huge platforms because they are ancestrally in this line of people that are controlling the narrative. Thus, they're able to be given a platform to be an authority, an expert. But they're it's not like they're just into the magnetic pole shift. They're also probably in the trans community, and they're probably also um, in another community, and it's like the umbrella. It's like there's tentacles. There's the people that are in one truth group like have ties to another. Like, why is Jay Dreamers and Fleur Brun, like, they're all, it's like this connection, and they're dosing out the information to us. My phone's about to die, so if I go away, it's because my phone died. But yeah, I feel like California is, there are safe zones in California. I feel like this is like where there's supreme energy. I feel like this is where there's the concentration of the most superior genetics. If you think about it, Hollywood, Los Angeles, the West Coast is a destination where people who make it, or people that are really good looking, therefore have good genetics, end up. So the higher the affluence, the higher the better the people are, the better they look, is a sign of genetics. So California, Hollywood, other than the plastic surgery, are people that I'm gonna have a change in volume because we're plugging in. Thanks, girl. Do you want to say hi? Karen says hi. But it's a way of like doing a genetic shift on the population and separating the people that are, quote, genetically superior, are going to be taller, going to be more attractive, going to be more outgoing, going to follow your dreams. Like, the people that go to Hollywood are runaways, people that say, I don't care where I grew up, I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed. That is like a huge sifter in attitudes of genetics. Like, the people that stay home don't ever go anywhere. So it's like, how can we get like the fireflies to go, like, we get the best to go to one place, and now we have a collection of people. You think they're gonna, like, I mean, unless you, and that's what I also think about Australia, is like, there's like a like the higher the concentration of like super genetically advanced people, the more lockdown you need to have on it. The more control you have to have on it. So they'll try to make them like not reproduce. So I don't know, it's interesting. It's like, is it people that are trying to get rid of, or are they people they're trying to save? But the fact that people in the know still are in California, like I said, in Los Angeles, it feels like nobody knows the world is ending. It feels like everybody's still going to work. Businesses are still open. Restaurants are still filled with people. People are getting to go. It's not like other cities in California where like the restaurant industry is decimated. So it's like, I feel like the feeling to leave California is like this propaganda to get you out of the place that maybe is where you have to be to maybe ascend. I think it also is interesting that this is where the SpaceX launches their rockets, which makes me think that it might be where the firmament is closest to the land, like maybe like where the dome curves down, like at the end of the Pacific Ocean. I don't know. Hi, Toilet Bowl Earth. What's up? Lisa Rose says, New York has Exodus too, but the weather sucks there. No tax in Wyoming. Wyomissing. Yeah, and Wyomissing has Yellowstone, right? And that's where um, the first balloon was over southern Montana, I think. Hi, Mickey G. Real Pixie. Hey, I'm working but listening. Hey, thanks for joining. Water says, whatever, wagons east. I don't know. Water. You crazy. California full of short little Mexicans and ugly tattoo people. Little segregated spheres. I do agree that it's very segregated. California is almost like what you make of it. Like you can go anywhere and get an environment that you look for. Like you can go and get a surfing environment, you can go and get like a snow environment, you can get like a rural farming environment. You can get the like Mexican family feel. You can get like you can go to like snobby all white people suburbs. You can go to where it's like all Asian people. You can go to where it's all Indian people, like people from India, like in Fremont where I used to work. It's like everybody's from India. Yeah, it's like you can really pick and choose, like choose your own adventure. You can kind of choose your own, like where you want to be, the people you want to be around. Um, I feel like in other parts of the country it's not like that. It's pretty much very cookie cutter, and you have to go extremely far distances to get a kind of change in the type of people. Lisa Rose says, but why are they trying to blank Californians like crazy? Well, they're blanking. Well, here people really take the media for truth. So the closer you get to the coast, the more of the masks you see. But people really believe the news, and there is a definite. It's like it's like the mentality of being popular. Like you don't want to be the one that gets left out. So I think that really drove people here to wear the mask, because they don't want to be the one that's the not cool person, the one that's causing problems. That people want to just go with the flow and not have their privileges taken away. But yeah, a lot of people here in California are more, I'd probably say, superficial and shallow. But it is like when you're at a certain frequency, you find the people that you need to find. Like, I think no matter where you are. But Californians in general are really healthy. Like, the closer I got to the coast, you see active old people. Like, that's really refreshing. Like, the more richer the area, the more healthy people are and the more active they are. Like, you see like 80-year-old couples like walking hand in hand on the beach. Like, that's awesome. Like, how awesome is it you see like first of all, old people still alive, loving each other, doing something fun outside. They're able-bodied, like that's an awesome thing. And to see a lot of old people walking around, like riding bikes and stuff, cool. Like, you see more kids, but I see more kids like in the affluent areas. But like I said, around here, like it doesn't really feel like that it's in a bubble. Like it doesn't feel like the strife of the rest of the country has really gotten here yet. Just because to be here, you kind of have to be able to really be a producer. Like you have to be able to keep working and doing the grind. Otherwise, you move to Texas or you move out of state. Yeah. But people here are hustlers. Like they make it work. Like they either like are on EBT, like they have a few jobs, like they have stuff on the side, make stuff under the table. Like they know, like you have to know people to be able to make things work. Like you have to be able to socialize. These are all like highly genetic like attributes of an evolved person, right? And there's other places in the country where there are no go-getters, there are no hustlers, there are no people like doing any businesses. Like like, do you think the genetic pool there is the same as it is where people are like hustling, attractive? Like, there's something going on there. Hi, Exclu. Watery says the good people in secured gated communities or up north. Lisa Rose 18. But why are they trying to? Okay, there's that. Robin says I can hear electricity charging phone. You got static, but it's tolerable. Exclu, I appreciate you, Robin. Very good day. Oop. Watery Wise. California is a magical place, greatness, but people are working so hard to ruin it. Yeah, California really is a magical place. Like the actual like physical scenery of the environment is just amazingly beautiful, and the variety in such a small distance is kind of like you don't really get that any other place. I mean, there are places like Arizona is pretty cool, but it's different. California kind of has like bits of everything in a small distance from each other. Like really high elevations. It has the highest and lowest point in the continental United States, like right next to each other. Mount Whitney and the Dead Sea, or Death Valley. Not the Dead Sea, the Death Valley. Salton Sea, thank you. Okay, here's it. Kat says, I'm gonna be 72 and taking belly dancing. Woohoo! 420 it. Woohoo! Have a U-Town. Kat is like freaking rocking it. Kat lived in Laguna, Newport Beach for, you kind of get cut off on me, but I think it's 14 years. Yeah, I think living next to a body of water is essential for health. And if you don't live next to a body of water, you have to like visit someplace next to water on a frequent basis. Like go to a river or go to a lake, even go to like a pool. But being next to a water, because the water is the antenna, and that's what we use in our body. That's what something Fleur Byrne was talking about too, is that we have to be very conscious of our water right now. And I've been watching a lot of, I think it's Theoria Apotheosis, but his name is Ken, and he lives in Kentucky, and he looks like a Satanist. He has like a cue ball, shiny shaved, bald head, and has tattoos all over his body. He's kind of, he looks kind of like a white Buddha, and he wears glasses. But he has like all the alchemical tattoos all the way to his fingertips, all over his hands. He's a very interesting man. I don't really know the purpose, and he does do hand signals. He does touch his nose and his eyes about things, certain things. He does defend the globe Earth, which I find interesting. But he does respond to comments. I do think what mostly he says is true, because he talks about his wife, his dead wife, and he worked with the Russians. He worked like as an artillery like consultant for like SWAT teams. He like lived in Ukraine and Russia, so he has like this like KGB weirdo spy background. Basically, he can speak all these languages, and now he lives in a cabin by himself in Kentucky. But he like advises people on how to buy rural land. Very interesting guy. But I don't really know like the angle of like why he's giving the information out. Because anybody that does the signals, I'm like, whoa. And the tattoos, I mean, he's obviously like super into the occult, alchemy. So these people are all like, a lot of these people have like ulterior motives. They're doing some kind of like great work. You know, they're doing some kind of like 4D art piece, theatrical play thing. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it short. Thanks. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for all my new subscribers. Love you all. Thank you.